Hey loves, it's your girl DeeDee and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now this video was hilarious to me. You guys see the title. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this one. But before we get into the video, if you have not subscribed to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, share, and like the video as well. And hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. So I'm going to stop talking. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Here we go.
Been married to my husband for 20 years. And in those 20 years we've been together, we never made love with the lights on. My husband preferred to make love with the lights off. No matter how much I asked him to turn the lights on, he never turned them on. Well, last night we were making love and I finally put my foot down. I told him he better turn the lights on or he's gonna sleep on the couch. And he hates sleeping on the couch, so he finally gave in. He got up out of bed and he turned the lights on. When he turned the lights on, I noticed that he was holding a dildo. Me being confused, I asked him where did he get the dildo from because it wasn't mine. He said, "Honey, I have a confession to make." I folded my arms and I told him to go ahead and tell me whatever it is he has to tell me. He turned his head because he didn't want to look me in my face. He said, "These past 20 years we've been together, we never really made love because I've always been using this dildo on you." Oh, I was furious. Then he went on to say that's why he never wanted to turn the lights on while we're making love, because I would have found out. I said, "Honey, how could you do this all this time and you never told me? Please explain yourself." He looked at me and he said, "Okay, I'll explain. But first, you explain the kids."
Oh, snap. Oh, wait a minute. I was not prepared for the ending. First off, we need to know why he was doing that for 20 years. That's mind-boggling to me because, I mean, any grown person who's had relations with, especially with your husband for 20 years, you gotta know what's going on down there, right? And she needs to even explain even more who those kids for, baby, because they're not his. That's strange to me how he did that for 20 years. She didn't know. All she was concerned about the lights being off, and then the fact that she was cheating on him the whole time, and none of the kids are his, baby. But what we gonna do with this? He got some splaining to do, and she definitely has some splaining to do as well. So I'm like, girl, you worried about him turning the lights on while you dipping in and doing it with God knows who else and got all these kids. And how do you stay in a marriage knowing all of this? He knew what he was doing, right? You know, you was using a fake thing. And then she popping up pregnant. How does that look? How does the conversation go? How do you say, "Oh, honey, I'm pregnant," when you good and well know that you ain't putting nothing in her? For real. How could you sit there and be like, "Oh, we're having babies"? How could you sit there the whole time and let all of that slide without saying anything? Your secret was more important than the fact that she's actually, because she don't know, apparently, well, according to this, she didn't know that she was using a fake thing, right? So she thinking it's the real thing. I don't see how, though. I don't see how after all that time you don't know that that's not real. But whatever. Just for the sake of the video, you didn't know. Then you going off and you sleeping with somebody else getting the real thing, popping up pregnant, and you faking like, "Oh, we're having babies," and he just sitting there, he going along with the program. That's some crazy stuff. If this is a real story, baby, it's crazy. I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. I could see if you was with somebody like, you know, it was a short relationship or a one night stand and you didn't know. Okay, maybe I'll give you that you didn't know it was fake. I'm saying maybe I'll give you that because y'all was just, or it was a quickie with somebody you barely knew or something like that and you didn't really know and you just whatever. But to be with somebody for 20 years and this is happening, you had no inkling, y'all. I mean, y'all don't never do random. I mean, is it always calculated? I'm just saying 20 years of marriage. Come on now. The whole time it was just calculated and y'all never did nothing spontaneously where he just whipped it out and be like, "Come on, get it, girl." You know, y'all ain't never done that because you would know then that, you know, whether he was using a real one or not. So I don't know if I believe that she didn't know for 20 years that he was using a fake thing on her that whole time, because that's why she was going out getting it somewhere else, if you ask me, and then getting pregnant too, because if something wasn't right with that one and she couldn't quite put her fingers on it, but you went out and you got a real one or a whole real one and got babies by it, and then you told him you knew that wasn't his babies, but I just couldn't understand that. How could you, as the man in that situation, sit back and accept the fact knowing she's sleeping with somebody else because you ain't really, piping her for real? Like, how could you sit there the whole time and not expose that? That's crazy. Because me, I would have been like, to hell with this. That would have, I've been using a fake one, but maybe he don't really want to disclose why does he have some issues down there? Because you could go work on that, go to the doctor, maybe get it fixed. Or is there something, does it just not work or what? Because that's supposed to be a conversation as well. Because now none of your children are yours. And either you're okay with it and you're just exposing it at the end, or what? Because I don't say you can sit there and just be calm the whole time. You're in the marriage with somebody for 20 years and y'all are not, and y'all keeping these kind of secrets and y'all not exposing the truth. Baby, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's why a lot of people think when folks have been married for years and years and years, that they've been through the ringer, child. They really think that everybody's marriage is the same, and it's not. But goddamn, this does not give a good name for people who have been married for years and years and years. Because once again, I think this is why people think folks that have been married for so long, that they've been through the gambit of it all. Like, they've been through infidelity, they've been through the worst, they've been through this, that. And you go through stuff the longer you're together, but the longer you're together, you know how to work your issues out. In my experience, it doesn't get worse, it gets better. It gets easier because the longer you've been with that person, you know them, you know who they are in and out, whatever differences y'all have or had, child, it ain't even a big deal anymore because y'all getting older. You know where this has to go and how it's going to end. One of y'all going to die before the other one. And it ain't really worth it at that point. You get to a point where you're like, the arguments aren't even worth it because it's the same arguments and whatever. And you squash them and then, it ain't no big deal. So to me, I think it gets better the older you get, the longer you're together. And it's not necessary. It doesn't have to be this all-out war between two people just because they've been together a long time. I think you learn each other, and the more you learn each other, the easier it becomes, from my experience. That's just me. So it really just boils down to the two people who are together. If that's your character, if that's your nature, if that's who you are, then that's what you're going to display. If that's not who you are, then that's not what you're going to display. Simple as that. Everybody is not the same. So yeah, I've heard some stories of people who've been together 20, 30 years and they stayed together, but they had a lot going on. And then there's others who don't have that drastic stuff going on. So it really just depends on the people. But this was funny as hell to me. I don't know if there's a part 2 somewhere. I don't know if there's more to it because I would like to hear why he was using a fake thing on her all those years. Who are the children for? Because that's what I want to know, child. Who the babies for? Who the pappy? The husband is not the father. So listen, I thought this was funny. Y'all please chime in. Let me know what y'all think of this. I thought this was hilarious and interesting at the same time. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Chime in, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.